Film. Hollywood. If you're aspiring to make your own movie, these two words immediately come to mind. Achieving the look of a Hollywood film requires more than just the knowledge of how to use a camera. It's a complex recipe that blends technical knowledge, camera techniques, and editing to get the final product. And today, we're going to look at one of the editing techniques used in this process: color grading. Once you've learned how the settings in your camera affect the base look of your film, by getting away from the ultra-realistic look of automatic mode and into the cinematic realm that is manual mode, one of the next steps you will take to push your footage to stand out is the art of color grading. It's an artistic flair, an artistic addition, that will set your mood and the atmosphere of the scenes in your movie. It begins with color correction and ends in a stylistic choice, known to us as the color grade. Every movie you watch in the digital age has some form of color grading, which allows the audience to connect to a certain feeling or emotion, depending on the choice of colors that make up the scene. Color grading can also create contrast in a scene that doesn't require you to have shadows everywhere. By using opposite colors on the color wheel, you can create separation of certain objects from the background and draw the viewer's attention to what's important. A common choice for doing so is the ever-popular Kiel and Orange color grade. Since all the skin tones lie upon an area near orange, we can push the midtones towards orange, and the shadows and highlights can be pushed towards teal. This will make our characters stand out because they are opposite colors on the color spectrum, creating color contrast. However, this isn't always the best look, and would look strange in a nighttime scene, where everything tends to have a cooler blue look. Hollywood uses color to change how a scene can feel in many different aspects, such as the time of day, the emotion of the characters, or to convey a specific space or area. For example, in The Matrix, they use two different color grades to separate the areas of simulation from reality, using heavy green tones when we are in the Matrix and a cooler, more neutral grade for all of the time spent in the real world. Zootopia uses lots of orange tones for its warmer, heartfelt scenes, and then a mix of blues in the mids and shadows during its sadder moments to make you feel cold and isolated. You can also use color grading to change the time of day. I can take this cooler, early morning shot and push it hours ahead, closer to sunrise. You can do this to save time shooting, so you don't have to shoot one scene in the morning and then wait several hours to shoot the next scene. You can shoot everything at one time, and then shift everything to feel like it's a different day or hour, even if it wasn't originally. There are no hard set rules, and some movies will make use of warm tones for disastrous moments. It's up to you to carry the vision of the film in a direction that works best for you when deciding a color grade. Part of color grading also involves exposure and contrast values, although it isn't mentioned as much since it isn't included in the term color grading. For example, for a few shots that I've done, I've either brightened or darkened scenes to match them up with how I thought they should feel in the end result. I wanted this shot to be a warm sunset, yet still have a grimy and gritty feel, so the darker tones would pull it to be more subdued and less vibrant and happy. Here's what the original footage looked like before I color graded it. I could have pushed it to feel more glowy and happy, like it looked like to my naked eye in person. But that's not how I wanted it to feel. There's one thing for certain when making your own films. There are no hard set rules. Use other films for guidance, and then push it to be your own style and craft. If there were only one way to do it, we'd just have robots make our movies. I'm Sean Michael Jordan, this is Route 1 Reels, and I hope to see you next week.